She was on vacation with her husband.
Baby, I love you!
But that moment didn't last. A cartel ambush shattered the calm. Her husband was gunned down before she could even scream. They thought she would break, that she'd run or beg or vanish like the others. But what they didn't know was who she really was. Hello and welcome to Zuno Recaps. I'm just a new guy trying to deliver the best movie recaps possible. So please show some love in this amazing journey. Our story follows Breener, a woman trying to escape the weight of her past. She's ex-military, sharp, trained, and composed. Her husband Dylan is a dedicated police officer, grounded and loyal. They're on a road trip through the backwoods of the American South, taking time to heal and reconnect. As they drive, a beat-up truck speeds past. The driver yells something lewd and keeps going. Just a random creep on a lonely road, or so they think. They ignore it. It's not worth the trouble. Later, at a roadside diner, that same man, Butch, shows up again. He's drunk, loud, and fixated on Breener. His words are laced with arrogance, and his presence turns the entire place sour. Dylan steps in, calm but firm. Before it can escalate, a woman intervenes. She's older, confident, and known simply as Mom. She diffuses the situation and pays for their meal herself. But there's something about her, too smooth, too practiced. As Breener and Dylan leave the diner and set up camp nearby, the forest feels heavy. Something's off. Then, a local officer shows up. Friendly on the surface, but her words carry a subtle warning. People out here don't like strangers. Still, Breener and Dylan press on. They hike deeper into the woods, choosing a path without realizing it's the last choice they'll make together. They take shelter in an old cabin as rain begins to fall. It feels safe for a moment, but when Breener discovers a cache of hidden weapons, her instincts flare. They prepare to leave, but it's too late. Butch and his men are already there. They ambush them, brutally. The screen fades to black. When Breener wakes up, she's tied, beaten, and covered in blood. Dylan is next to her, barely conscious. Then comes the revelation. They know he's a cop. Butch pretends to be sorry, offering hollow words, then ends Dylan's life in front of her. They think she's gone too, but they're wrong. Hours pass. The forest is still. Then, movement. Breener's eyes flutter open. She's bruised, bloodied, but breathing. The bullet only grazed her. She's alive, somehow. She stumbles toward Dylan, what's left of him. One look and her heart breaks. She can't save him. All she can do is cover him with branches, whisper goodbye, and walk away. But something inside her shifts. The grief hardens into purpose. She remembers her training, the discipline, the silence, the fury. She picks up an axe left behind and vanishes into the woods. From this point forward, she's not just surviving, she's hunting. Back in town, Butch and his crew are laughing, gloating, acting like they've won. They harass the locals, throw their weight around like gods in a forgotten place. And Mom? She watches from the shadows, calm, cold, calculating. She's not just part of this. She's the one pulling the strings. Eat quick, she tells Butch. We've got work to do. Butch doesn't question her. No one does.
Out in the wild, makes herself a deadly weapon from wood. Then she ambushes one of Butch's men, takes him out silently, and hides the body. She's clearly disturbed by what she's doing, but there's no going back. It's her or them. She keeps moving through the forest like a ghost, taking out another one of Butch's gang. She's swift, brutal.
You're gonna take me to the rest of your clan.
At one point, she hacks off a guy's foot but spares his life, letting him crawl away, terrified. Then she finds Butch's cabin, the place where all the horror started, and blows it sky high. The explosion is massive, lighting up the forest. That's when a new character shows up, Sheriff Hobbs. He hears the blast and grabs his gun, confused and alarmed. Butch and Mom also see the smoke. Butch freaks out a little,
See what those two idiots are up to.
Yes, Mom.
realizing something's very wrong. Mom, clearly the brains behind this twisted operation, tells him to go check it out. On his way into the woods, Butch finds one of his guys barely clinging to life,
With that bitch, she's still alive.
mumbling about Breener. He throws in the back of the truck and hurries back to town. But guess what? Breener's already hiding in the back of that same truck, waiting for her next move. Back at their creepy little base, Butch breaks the news to Mom.
We'll see what you can find out about this girl.
Some of their people are dead. She's furious, slaps him, blames him for everything. and demands he clean up the mess. Turns out, Mom's more dangerous than she looks. She's got a whole network of shady people working for her, including some tech nerds who could dig up info on anyone. She orders one of them to run a background check on Breener, completely unaware that the woman she tried to kill is already tearing their world apart. The guy stares up at her, confused and panicked. Meanwhile, the woman everyone calls Mom is finding out something that knocks her off balance. This woman she's after, Breener, isn't some random girl. She used to be in the military, trained like a pro, and now Mom realizes she's messed with the wrong person. Out in the woods, Sheriff Hobbs is wandering around when he stumbles upon one of Butch's guys, now lying dead in the dirt. Not wasting time, he grabs his radio and gets in touch with his team, letting them know he's found a body. Back in the forest, Breener's not just hiding. She's busy turning the place into a trap zone. She's setting up snares and surprise attacks all over the place, getting ready for anyone who might come looking for her. Soon enough, Hobbs' team arrives at the same spot where he found the body. One of his men leans in and tells the sheriff that the guy on the ground was part of Mom's crew. Then he drops another bomb. Apparently, this whole chunk of forest is Mom's territory. She basically runs the show out here. The people in town don't just call her Mom as a nickname. She practically owns everything, and nothing happens without her say-so. Curious and suspicious, the sheriff says he wants to meet this Mom face to face. Back at Mom's little hideaway, a young woman working in the control center lets her know that Sheriff Hobbs is coming to see her. But there's a twist. This woman is actually working for Mom too. She's just another person in Mom's pocket, feeding her information. The sheriff rolls up with a couple of his guys and sits down with Mom. He brings up the body they found in the woods, but Mom plays it cool. She doesn't even pretend that she's worried about losing one of her men. In fact, she lies and says the man took his own life. Hobbs isn't buying it, not for a second, but he keeps quiet. He nods, plays along, and eventually leaves without making a scene. That night, Mom and her so-called kids gather to drink and mourn the guy they lost. They're drunk and sad, sprawled out all over the place. Butch wakes up after all this, still groggy from the booze, and walks into a room, only to find Breener waiting there for him. She's not there to talk. She takes a knife and slashes his throat, watching him bleed out slowly. He gasps and struggles, but there's nothing he can do. She just stands there, eyes cold as he dies. That was for her husband. Morning comes, and Breener is still hiding in the building. She sees one of Mom's men dragging a young girl into a locked room. It hits her hard. This girl isn't alone. There are more like her, trapped, scared, and abused. Breener knows she can't just leave them. She sneaks inside and manages to open the door, freeing girls. But not all of them are ready to bolt. They've been through too much and are terrified. One of them panics and lets out a scream, which alerts a nearby guard. The guy rushes in and starts shooting. One of the girls gets hit and dies on the spot. Breener, though, doesn't back down. She takes him out in a clever and brutal way. Breener escapes the building with one of the girls, Emily. Together, they make their way into the woods. Meanwhile, word gets back to Mom that Butch is dead and the girls are gone. The news hits her like a truck. She's furious and heartbroken, especially about her son. She totally loses it, ordering her men to find Breener at any cost. She wants every able-bodied man, every dog, every resource out there looking. One of her guys tracks Breener down, but he's no match for her traps. He ends up dead, just like the others. Another man shows up, and Breener doesn't hesitate. She shoots him on the spot. That night, Breener and Emily sit by a fire. It's a rare calm moment. Emily opens up, telling Breener she's pregnant. She's scared, not just for herself, but for the baby. She knows if Mom finds her, she might not survive. Breener puts a hand on her shoulder and tells her everything's going to be okay. "I've got you," she says. The next morning, Mom sends her top enforcer, a big guy with dogs, into the forest to sniff them out. They manage to catch Emily, but Breener shows up just in time to deal with the attackers. At the same time, Sheriff Hobbs arrives in the area, only to get shot in the leg by one of the bad guys. Breener reacts instantly and takes the shooter down. She helps the sheriff to safety, and the three of them regroup. Breener tells the sheriff they can't stay in one place. If they do, they'll be hunted down again and again. So they ditch the hideout and follow a stream, hoping to find help. That's when they run into the female officer who warned Breener and her husband earlier in the story. Thinking she's an ally, they get in her car. Exhausted, Breener and Emily fall asleep in the back seat. But when they wake up, the nightmare begins again. They're surrounded by Mom's people. The officer had been working for Mom the whole time. She sold them out. Breener and Emily are dragged off. Emily confesses she's pregnant with Butch's baby, hoping to save herself. Mom doesn't seem to care. She sends Emily to a different room and prepares Breener for torture. Later, Emily shows up with food, but she's not there to serve lunch. She takes down the guard and frees Breener. Breener, now full of rage and purpose, storms into the main room, where Mom's gang is gathered. She goes full warrior, taking them out one after another. At the same time, Mom grabs Emily and puts a knife to her throat, trying to force Breener to give up. A man sneaks up and attacks Breener from behind. While she's distracted, Mom slashes Emily's throat and runs off. Breener finishes off the attacker, but by the time she gets to Emily, it's too late. The girl is already gone. 3 months later, Mom is sitting in a peaceful garden, trying to move on. She gets a mysterious message, Judgment Day. Before she even has time to react, a bullet rips through her head. Breener had been watching from the shadows, hidden and waiting for the perfect moment. With revenge complete, she silently walks away into the trees, her mission finished. And that's how it ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I love hearing from you. See you in the next video.